Hi, I'm Robert Begg. I work at Asante as the Vice President of Human Resources.
And my name is Ken Ogden. I am Robert's husband and am an architect here in town. I was very fortunate to be well served by the governmental agencies, the institutions, and several major businesses here in the Rogue Valley. And they have really been very beneficial to the solvency of my firm. And even in tougher times where economy was a little bit more challenging, having these key clients and as repeat customers really was a gift to us. And by having this kind of ability to keep a strong team intact and able to provide architectural services, I felt it was my duty to be as generous back to the community as what the community has been to me.
Healthcare generally always drew me. I just like the mission of it, the idea of it, helping people in that way. The opportunity came up for this project manager position in human resources, so I applied for that. Took that job and very quickly realized I wanted to do a little more if I could. Was promoted to a supervisor over that HR information systems function, and then a manager in human resources. I've had every function basically in HR work underneath me in either a manager or director role. So, from recruiting to the operations and administration, talent management, which includes, organizational development and leadership development. So all of those things I felt I was able to gain experience in order to lead me to my current position as the Vice President of Human Resources. One of the things we noticed with Frank was when he was about 6 months old, he started having this little cough. Right? And it just was one of those things that was a little niggly, wouldn't go away. The typical treatments didn't seem to be doing what we needed them to do. Around the time between he was 18 months and 2 years old was when we got his diagnosis, which is a very rare disease called primary hemosiderosis. So that's, basically when your lungs don't work, the alveoli is supposed to keep the blood out and the oxygen going through, but he was bleeding into his lungs. The kinds of drugs that he was on frequently gave him infections. So he was on a little pump, that he had in a little fanny pack that he would wear around, and but sometimes he would have to have treatment. And so to have it be right here in the valley and be that close and have the kind of care that was able to be provided for him was wonderful. He loved all things kind of dragon related and being a knight and thinking about that. And one of the connection points with that is he would have his little sword or his little bow and arrow, and it was all about the poking. And so he had to get IVs and a central line and all these things frequently. So the nurses kind of made a game out of it as much as you could to say, hey, you can poke me with the sword while I put this in and poke you here. So just that personal sort of understanding of what you need from a 2.5, almost 3-year-old to help him get through that was really important. And the family environment that the staff really tried to encourage, and again, the humanity that they displayed in those moments was life-changing. Realizing at some point along the journey that Frank wasn't going to make it out of this, right? This was something that was going to end. Being able to, again, have a place where it ended up being like a second home. The nurse that was the primary nurse for the doctor that we treated with, Dr. Sibley, her son was an artist. And he suggested when they were visiting one day and visiting Frank, hey, could we paint on these windows? You just paint on the windows and then you can just pull that right back off. If he's going to be here for a few weeks, would that be possible? So, asked the administration at the time, and they said, sure, we'd love to be able to provide that to him. And so Jeff painted this amazing little, castle scene that you could see from inside the room as well as from outside the room as you looked in. And it just gave Frank a little something else that he could hang on to when he was in there to make it a little more friendly for him.
Well, having 5 boys between us, I have 2 sons and Robert has 3 sons. And growing up, they've always been exposed to being a part of the community, having helped us and seen how we contribute to the community with working for days, helping other organizations. I've been a part of Rotary, and my boys would constantly be helping out with, cleaning up the streets or, painting some building or something like that. So they realize that it isn't just about surviving for yourselves, but contributing to your community as well.
Just really showing them that it's not just about making a dollar or doing that sort of thing, but really other people, are important in a different way. And as Ken mentioned, we've had the opportunity to do other things with them in other places and other kinds of experiences that we provided to them. And I really think that's made them, understand what it means to be part of the world, that it's not just about you. And so I think they've all taken that on to heart, and so they really, see the world in a different way because of that.
I was very fortunate to have had the opportunity to participate with dozens of nonprofits here in the town, serving on their board of directors. And I served on those teams with some very profound families that have given to the community, the DeBoers, the Hymans, the Mises, and seeing what their donations have meant for these organizations and how it has changed the life and the ability for the entire community was pretty powerful. And although I cannot necessarily give in the same magnitude of what they have done, but I did learn from that in terms of, share what you can, and it's going to basically be an end result for a better lifestyle.
And I think about what it means to give of yourself. I think Ken mentioned it isn't always monetary, it could be time as well. People that work in healthcare already know in their heart that this is important, right? But part of the reason we've been able to be successful and maintain all of the services that we provide through the pandemic, for example, is because we have a good, strong financial foundation, as well as people that are willing to give, not just 110%, but 200%, of their selves in their work. So for me, when I think about how it has impacted me and what I want to share with other people, it's that it's all connected, right? We get to have an opportunity to work in this kind of healthcare system because it's a great healthcare system. And if we have something that we can donate back to move to the next level and provide even more care and be at the front edge of some of these amazing things that are happening in healthcare these days, it really connects it together to me. So, if people were to ask me, why should I, donate money? I already give my time and my blood, sweat, and tears, literally. It's because of that. It's because there's always more need than there is availability. And so if you have something that you can help with, then it's important to give the community and do that. And for us, the community isn't just the people that live outside of Asante, but the people that work and live inside Asante. That's a really important community too that we need to support.
In one instance, it's kind of an investment in yourself as well, in terms of if you're investing into your team, which makes your overall team that much stronger, it inevitably will come back to you in the long run.
I think the biggest reason that we chose to move forward with a gift to the Asante Forward campaign was, again, what I saw as the future needs of our health system, right? And I came home and I said, Ken, here's an opportunity for us. It's fairly painless. We take it out of my check every pay period, so that helps because it's not just a one-time donation. So again, when I think about how to share that information with other people that get the opportunity to work at Asante, we really do make it very simple to do that. And when you see how quickly that adds up and what the opportunity that they can do with that money, again, I just think it's a need that needs to be filled by someone.